the plan for today then is I'm just gonna hang around for 2 or 3 hours on Abstract YouTube X, maybe even on. Am I on Facebook as well? I might even be on Facebook. I'm not sure. I can't quite remember whether I set it up to run on there, but yeah, we're in a few different places. And the plan today is I'm going to draw this piece, which you can see in here at the moment. This is my contribution to Jessica's Room 707 project, which is it's like a private space for artists. There's a lot more you can find out about it. I think we're going to have Jessica on the Let's Draw show on a Wednesday at some stage soon, which would be great. So we can ask her a little bit more about exactly what's included. But essentially, part of that, to keep it short and sweet, part of that is that Jessica is minting artwork by other artists, and I'm one of the artists in there as well. And really grateful to be in there as well. It's quite nice to be able to draw something where there's no where you can kind of just do your own thing a little bit more. So yeah, I'm excited that Jessica asked me. Thank you very much. Yeah. And yeah, to be fair, Jessica, that's the one thing I haven't got is a coffee. I haven't got a coffee handy, which I could really do with that, but never mind. It's okay. I'll quickly design a Be Right Back slide and put that on in about an hour, so I can go and grab a coffee. But yeah, this is what I'm going to draw. So the feed. So you can see with the feed, you've got me here. You've got my iPad over on that side, but then I thought down below what I'd do is I put my iPad so you can see what my hand is doing on there as well. So just for anybody that wants to learn a little bit about drawing with Adobe Fresco, this might be handy for you as well. So if you've got any questions about it, I've been using it for a couple of years now, so I don't know it inside out, but I know enough about it that I can probably help anybody who's new to it. So yeah, feel free if you've got any questions about it, then ask me questions. Let me talk to you about the artwork then. So I developed this dog. The project, the Room 707 project, felt to me like it was about the anxiety that artists can get when they've got to produce artwork and put it out there and be on a live stream all the time and be constantly, pushing artwork out. When in fact, I think what a lot of artists want to do is just create and do it in a nice private space, a safe space, because your artwork's like your child. You don't want anybody, saying, "Oh, I don't like that." It can be quite tough. I know when I first started out, it was quite tough for me when people said they didn't like my artwork. Nowadays, I'm a little bit more thick-skinned, a little bit more resilient to that kind of stuff, and if people don't like my artwork, I know it's their issue, not mine, so it's all good. But yeah, the Room 707 project seemed to be about that. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to bring in one of my Korp dog characters, but I wanted to make the Korp dog character look like it was exposing itself to the public. So that's why I've gone for I did these little ribs down the bottom here. So we've got the dog kind of split open a little bit, which is a recurring theme I like to draw in my classes in the Korp Academy. And yeah, so I thought these rib cages would be quite cool. Might put something inside the rib cages. Haven't really decided yet. I'm open to suggestions. GM Joff, happy Friday. Just seen you in the chat in Abstract. Thank you, mate, for coming in. So yeah, I might put something inside those ribs. That might be a bit of a cliche. I'm not sure. But yeah, that's what that bit's for. So it's like exposing your inner self. Is it metaphor? Is that the right word? I don't know. But then I thought I'd put this big mouth in as well. The reason I like a big mouth is because I love drawing teeth. I think the teeth look really cool on that. Really pleased with how they're looking. So I'm looking forward to outlining those. And then yeah, it's just typical kind of dog look. But I went for a really concerned look, a real anxious about exposing himself look with the dog's eyes. And I really quite like those as well. I'm not sure how they're going to come out in when I outline and stuff like that, but we'll see. It's not finished. This was a concept sketch, a very quick concept sketch I came up with during earlier on this week, and then yeah, today the plan is to finish it off, outline it, add some colour, add a background, that kind of stuff. Hey Farlands, thank you for joining, mate. Good to have you in. Jessica says put multiple hearts inside. Yeah, do I put real hearts or like the fake kind of like heart? Don't know. I'd struggle to draw multiple hearts, but it's definitely got something in there. I might, I could put a pencil in there or something. I don't know. I'll put something in, but I'm open to suggestions. So if anybody's got ideas, things that they think will work, let me know. I'm keen to kind of like throw things in that might work. Same with color schemes. Yeah, so definitely, I think a tongue is the main thing I'm definitely going to put in, which I haven't put in yet. So I'll figure out how to do that later. But I might just build it up in layers so that I can take the tongue out just in case I don't like it. Heart crying or heart on fire. That's an awesome idea. Yeah, heart on fire. Yeah. Because then you just got to get it out. Yeah, that could work. Might be able to bring some of that fire into the mouth as well. Don't know, but thank you, Jessica. So, this is something that I used to do when I was working with other artists and putting on like events and things like that. I always used to say to them, there's no theme. You do whatever you want to do, because not enough artists kind of get that. Artists get commissioned to kind of go and work on projects that somebody else has come up with, and there's not enough of artists just being able to do whatever they want to do. So it's been a really cool project that Jessica's asked me to get involved and be able to do whatever I want to do. I should probably point out that this piece has been minted. This concept sketch has been minted on Rodeo. So you can find me on Rodeo if you search for Korp, K-O-R-P. But also Jessica will mint it as well as part of her project. But Jessica will mint the finished piece, not this concept piece. And it will look very different as well. I should probably point out as well, so that is a recurring like pattern that Jessica uses, so I need to try and incorporate that, or I want to try and incorporate that a little bit more. I'm not sure how. I have got this like background all kind of done and set up, so I might just use that as a background, but I think I want to tone it down a little bit. Black and white just seems a little bit too strong in there. I was also playing with this, look, so let's get rid of the dock, but I was also playing with this, which says 7, because the project is room 707. I kind of liked that as I don't know, as something, because it says 7, and I love the way the S and the N are the same shape, but I think you read it as an S over on this side, as an N over on that side. I don't know. I was just quite happy with how that worked. Sorry, Geoff, what did you say? Can people still buy a 707 membership to get access to this piece? That's a question for you, Jessica. If somebody wanted to mint this when it goes to mint, let us know how that works. Whether they need to be a member. Jessica says, yeah, you can still buy membership. And out of interest, Jessica, whilst we're on the subject, how would somebody go and buy membership? Is going over to buying through Magic Eden, or I think some of the passes, I know it says sold out, but was there some new ones available? I'm not sure. Let me know in the chat, and I'll put the message out there to everybody. Cool. Right, hang on 1 second. I'll be back. So yeah, my wife just knocked on the door. And has brought me a cup of coffee. So she's obviously watching the feed. Is that my coaster? She's obviously watching the feed and decided to bring me a cup of coffee. I think what I could really do with is like a sandwich as well. Get a bit of energy up. Maybe she'll do that as well. No, maybe not. We'll see. That kind of worked all right. Let me just see if that works again. Look at that. I kind of like how it goes from that to that. That's interesting. That's new. Anyway, right, let's biscuits. Tanya, Vi, tell your mum We need biscuits. No, we don't need biscuits. I don't need biscuits. Let's do some drawing, shall we? Because 15 minutes in, and all I've been doing is rabbiting. By the way, if anybody is watching, wherever you're watching from, please do me a favour. There's a couple of things to keep an eye out for. One is if you see a like button, like a big thumb, just go and tap that a few times for us. If you see a share button, go and tap that and share it around the feed. I'm going to be here for a couple of hours. Thanks, Joff. Please imagine a musical interlude. That was with my ending kind of, yeah. It all came all of a sudden. I didn't know what to do. I didn't have a slide ready for. Hang on a minute. I'm just going to go and grab my coffee. Whoever did that thumb, thank you very much for that thumb. Appreciate that. Let's draw. Right. Enough talking. So this last bit down here. These are my colours that I used for Korp dogs. Love using just like a limited palette. So every single Korp dog that I drew is all coloured using those colours. And I thought what I'd do with this one is just try and bring those colours in. So if anybody's got any suggestions on which colours we should do the dog, again, let me know. Jess says you can buy the pass on the secondary market. So if anybody wants to go follow Jessica, let me just see if I can bring in. I don't know if it will let me do this. Bring in Jessica's feed. Of course it won't. But yeah, Jessica Yatrofsky, Jayatrofsky. So let's bring that in. This is probably going to be your best bet of how to get in touch, get involved in the project, how to mint my piece when it becomes available. I'm not exactly sure when it comes out. I think it's going to be this month. That's pretty much what I know. Let's see. There you go. There's Jessica. I'll just park Jessica up there. Sure she won't mind. There you go. So yeah, anybody want to get involved in the project, there's Jessica Yatrofsky's X profile. So go follow on that. And we're releasing next week. Excellent. Right, no pressure. Let's get this done today. I kind of gave myself a deadline. I work really well to deadlines. Get myself a deadline, having this bit done today. So let's go and do it. Let's unhide that. I'm going to outline first. I'm going to get rid of all this stuff in the background. Do we need to keep that in? Yeah, let's keep that in. I don't think that's thick enough. Let's go a little bit thicker. So the other thing as well is when I drew this, I drew it using the symmetry tool. But when I outline it now, I'm not going to use that symmetry tool, so I'm going to get loads of different variations between the left and the right hand side. Only slight variations, but they will be in there. Right, let's see if we can. Oh no, I need to. Let's make that a little bit paler. I don't want to work on grey. Why am I working on grey? That's better. Okay, prep done. A little bit thinner. Yeah, that's a good size, I think, for outlining. What's going on? Why are people counting on abstract? Why have I got a 1 or 2? What's that all about? Hi, Alex. Hope you're doing well, mate. Geoff says there's 2 versions of the key on 707 on Magic Eden. Is there any particular one they should go for? Where should we start? Let's start up with this nose. And see, look, straight away, look, you see how it's just slightly different on both sides. That's exactly what I want to get across when I'm doing this today. I don't want anything to be too obviously symmetrical. How's that look? That looks okay. Favorite thing about the using Adobe Fresco is the clipping tool. So you can triple tap. See this little button down here, this little circle. Just went blue. I'll triple the tap that, and you can just draw a little line over that, and it just gets rid of these lines. I'm going to do one eye at a time. Zoom in, look, just triple tap, get rid of the lines. Really tidy. Right, yeah, I think this is looking alright. Line thickness looks good. Right then, let's draw. If only I had some lo-fi music I could play in the background. I will figure out how to do that at some stage. I know you guys on Abstract like a bit of lo-fi music. You can notice I've got my my iPad kind of leaning towards me a little bit, which is what all this bit is. Just makes it a little bit easier for me to see. I will be using some of the tools, the cheat tools that you get with Fresco. So you never used to be able to, draw a perfect circle in Fresco, whereas you can do that now, which is pretty cool. So I will be using that when it comes to doing the pupils. In fact, what I might do with the pupils, with the eyes, is draw them separate and copy them, put them on a different layer so I can make them look different places, things like that. Lovely. That looks right. Yeah, definitely colour or colours for the dog is kind of what I'm looking for. I think we're away from colouring, but we'll get there. Okay, let's go and do the other eye. What I kind of like about this is you can make a bit of a mess with it, and then sort of tidy it all up later. So that's all looking a little bit messy. Does that work? I don't know if that works. Let's try and put that a bit higher. Yeah, that's a bit better up there. But yeah, you can make a bit of a mess and then just triple tap, go and tidy it all up. How's that looking? Nice. We've got ourselves a set of eyes in there. Let's go and do those eyebrows. I think I'll do the eyebrows. I'll do the mouth later. Do the eyebrows. I'm going to go and do the pupils, the irises. Okay. Yeah, wherever you're watching from as well, get in the chat, say hello, let me know where you're watching from, what your name is, whether you're an artist yourself or whether you're just watching for fun. Make yourself known. Just noticed I've missed out this bit. Yeah, that's better. Okay, new layer. Let's do a new layer. Get rid of that one. New layer. Let's do the eyes now. So you just hold it. Just hold it to get that perfect circle coming out. Let's colour this in. So we're going to go and pick out a colour for the eyes. Where's my layers gone for my colours? Let's bring those back in. Any preferences on colours for the eyes? I mean, it's obvious to go for the... I think it's obvious to go for blue, but do we want to go for a different colour? Choose a colour. Oh, Farlands has said purple and blue for something earlier. That purple and blue, is that for the fur? I might go purple with the eyes, just because Farlands has picked that. Farlands has been in a few times. Although Jessica's just gone light brown. Light brown, what, for the eyes? That's this colour here. Can you see that one? That middle one. I haven't really got a light brown. It's like a yellowy, mustardy colour. And Farland says, "What? I knew this would happen. I've got two people throwing ideas at the same time. Maybe I tell you what. What about let's go a little bit David Bowie with the eyes. Let's have a look at David Bowie's eyes. What has he got? He's got one blue eye with a small pupil, one light brown eye with a big pupil. That's what we're doing. Well done, people. Decision made." So this side, then we need to make a smaller, smaller pupil. Close lasso, transform, make it a bit smaller. How much smaller? Let's make it really small. Whack it right in the middle. Deselect. We'll put some reflections on there afterwards. Color wise, we're going to go for blue. So let's go for, cancel. Let's go for medium blue. No, let's go for dark blue down the bottom. I will make a decision. Dark blue down the bottom. Medium blue next. In there. And then a light blue. It's not particularly even. Let's go a little bit. Let's go a little bit higher on that. Might just turn my grid on actually. Just I want the reflection to be coming down the same amount on both sides. Where was I? Right, this color. Oh yes, grids. Let's make the spacing a little bit more than that. A little bit less than that. Yeah, that's good. Just going to make my grid disappear a little bit more than that, so it doesn't interfere. Oh, what's happened there? Reflection. Let's go and add a reflection in. So white. Yeah, that'll do nicely. So let's duplicate that. We're going to duplicate the layer group. Let's move this one over here. What I'll do is I can use the grid to help me place it. That feels about right. So let's change colours first. What are we going for? Like a hazel kind of colour. Let's see if this works. Yeah, that looks nice. Got to make the pupil bigger though. So let's just grab that pupil because it's on a different layer to all the colours and everything, so we can just grab that pupil and make that pupil much bigger. I always like it when you have like these reflections, when you have them like half in the pupil and half not in the pupil. So that's worked out quite well that over on this side it's the big reflection that's half in and half out. On the other side it's that small reflection. I say it's worked out quite well. That was always part of the plan to do that. And let's deselect how they look in. They look alright, don't they? That's quite fun. First great idea from the gang, from our viewers, is our inability to decide on a colour for the eyes. So we went for one of each. Obviously it's got a little nod to David Bowie. Maybe we could do a little bit lightning strike going across the face as well. Maybe that's overkill, I don't know. Maybe we'll never get to that point because I'll just keep on talking too much. Right, let's put those two together. That on top of that, that on top of that. By copying and pasting that, I just made sure the eyes were exactly the same, but also so the reflections were exactly the same, because it's important to have them. They're not mirrored, they're kind of copied and pasted. The reflections are always in the same place, even though that looks a little bit weird on the eyes because the reflections are inside the pupil on one and outside on the other. That'll be okay. The other good thing about having it there as a separate layer means that we can just sort of move it around, and I can make our character look up. I can make it look down. You know, when we've coloured in the rest, those eyes will, you know, we can move those eyes wherever we want. But yeah, when I've coloured in the rest, it'll those eyes will just sit nicely behind the skin tones around there. Yeah, okay. That's it, let's leave them. Where we go next? Let's do a little bit more outline. I'm going to get into the mouth, do a bit of outline in there. I'm not going to colour in. Let's colour in the nose, actually. This might really bug people, the way I colour in. I don't really like colouring in like by just dropping a colour in the black bits, in between the black bits, in between the line work. I like to manually colour underneath. Also, I've just realised what I've done in the eyes is I've created done the shading with the colours rather than adding it afterwards. I'll stick with that. Okay, let's go and do the nose. So we're in the nose layer. We've got that brush. Let's go and do pink. Let's do the dark bits first. I think just there. I think just under there we'll see a little bit of the darkness as well. I'm going to have the light. Yeah, let's have the light coming in from an angle. So let's have a bit of darkness over there. Okay, that's good. Next colour. One of the other things as well you can do is you just hold your finger on. Did you see that? You hold your finger on. I don't know if it doesn't show you on the actual. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah. You hold your finger on the screen somewhere, and it tells you what colour, and it's like a colour picker for you. So if you rather than keeping going backwards and forwards to the colour menu, you can just hold your finger on it, and picks that colour out. Beautiful. That looks good. Should we put a little reflection on there as well? Let's we started doing it this way. I might as well finish off doing it this way. Let's put in a. See what works. Does that work? Kind of works, doesn't it? No, it's too fat there, isn't it? Let's have a little bit of a reflection there. What about that? So how does that look? I think that looks nicer in the middle there. Let's do that. Not like that. Yeah, I'll go with that. Cheers, Valens. Glad you're liking how it's coming along so far. Mouth. Let's get to the mouth then. Let's move the colours out of the way. So we're not going to use them. In fact, I'll just make them disappear for a little while. Back on the main layer. And let's go and put these teeth in. This might be a little bit of a boring bit. But the other thing as well, okay, with these teeth, so this is one thing with the vector clipping tool. If you do a shape like that, you try to clip that bit, it doesn't work. That's my biggest peeve with this. So yeah, we're just going to drop it down like that. In fact, yeah, if I do it in 2 lines, it'll work if I do it in 2 lines, but it won't work if I do it in 1 line. We'll see how this looks in a minute. Let's make this side a little bit different. Top set of teeth done. They look alright. Just going to do the bottom set. Similar kind of thing. Let's start in the middle, work my way around on this. Pointy tooth in there. What's this one doing? As we start getting towards these teeth at the back, I'm going to start putting a bit more shape in them. So watch this. Look, we're going to go across there, across there. What's going on here? Might just have to tweak that a little bit. Let's tidy it up and then figure out how I'm going to do the gums. I think having a fatter line means I've just got to change a few little bits in there. Right, triple tap, vector clipping tool. Let's go and tidy this up. This is I love this part of drawing, where you can just make loads of moves really fast, get loads done. It just tidies up these messy teeth really quickly. Oops, got rid of the wrong line there. That one. Yeah, that one. What do we think? How does that look in the mouth? Don't think I like that line. Get rid of that one. The rest looks okay though. I'll take that. Just going to do the other side. How are we doing for time? So 45 minutes in, and that's how much I've got done. I think we're doing all right. I think it'll probably take me another hour to get to finishing off the ribs. Nobody has a teeth phobia. Should I tell you what we could do, Joff, is we could put these teeth on a separate layer so that the dog can have like teeth, dentures, and then just gums. Should we do that? See what you make me do. Let's duplicate. No, let's not duplicate that. Let's copy this bit. Duplicate selection. So now we've got that on a new layer. So let's just hide that. I'm going to erase the teeth. But they are still there, look. Which is great. So on the main layer, what we'll do on the main layer is we'll just have the gums in. So let's put the gums in. Oh, it's going to look so funny. That looks rubbish. Let's do across here. That's good. This is going to look good. I know it doesn't look much at the moment, but this is going to look good. I like the fact we can just throw in some teeth. For anybody that don't know, this is what Joff does to me. Joff just throws out these suggestions and derails me completely, puts me on a completely different course with this artwork, so that we can still drop in the teeth. We can put them in afterwards when they're coloured in. They'll just sit on top. Nobody will notice the difference. Right, Kowalevic, hello mate. Hope you're doing well. Haven't seen me for a long time. Yeah, I've not been putting the streams on quite as much. We've got loads of live sessions. Got loads of live sessions booked over the next few days, though. Joff will probably be able to tell you about them more than I can. But yeah, planning on doing loads of live streams. In fact, let me just a quick run through of my upcoming live streams. If I can find my calendar. This is my wife's going to be impressed with this one, because I don't think I've told her yet how much I'm going to be streaming over the next few days. Yeah, so this one we're here for another couple of hours, which is great. On Monday, I've got a live stream on Monday the 17th. We're going to be drawing one of the Beasts characters. So Beasts are an NFT project. They're going to be dropping on Abstract soon, as everyone will be. So yeah, we'll be doing that on Monday the 17th. On Wednesday the 19th, we'll be doing Let's Draw. I'm not sure if that's the day we've got Jessica coming on as a guest to talk about Room 707, but we'll be doing a Let's Draw session on that day anyway. On Friday the 21st, we're joining Cairo for his stream, which will be about 5 p.m. UTC. Saturday the 22nd at 8 p.m. UTC, I'm going to be doing the Abstract Angels. I'm going to be drawing that with Posca pens. I'm going to be drawing on Cairo's stream as well. And what else? I'm sure I've got another one booked in, but I've lost it. I don't know. But yeah, we've got a few more live feeds anyway, so you'll get a few more over the next week or so. Okay, let's not allow Joff to distract me anymore. Yeah, sorry, mate. Yeah, I should draw. Joff's even just saying that. You draw, I'll post the dates. Shows you how bored Joff's getting with the feed at the moment. Let's move this on a little bit faster, shall we? Let's get this mouth nailed. What are we doing with the lips? One big curve. Oops, come out the wrong place. Okay, that looks good. Let's tidy this up then. So get rid of that, and that. Over on the other side, all of them. Bit of gum. Let's tidy up this bit in the middle now. So I'll just use a thinner pen. In fact, let's go back to the original. Yeah, that looks nice. Get rid of that. That's wonky. Let's sort that out. Yeah, I do. It's close enough. One of the big issues I have is just moving lines by like fractions of a millimeter. Like it makes a difference. It kind of makes a difference to me, but I'm not sure everybody else sees it. Oh, no way, Joey's joined on X. Hi, Joey. Hope you're doing well, mate. Yeah, steady hand, but I've also got like the smoothing tool like ramped up to 84%, so it is being helped quite a lot. Right, let's go and do some colour on these gums. Actually, do we want to put some inner mouth in as well? I'm going to bring the teeth back. Oh, I haven't finished the teeth either, have I? Let's go and do the teeth. Not like that, I'm not. Let's try. Not with that pen. You can just, I'll leave that one like that. You can just get into a zone where you're not even concentrating too much about like drawing each bit on its own. You're just drawing, and then come back and finish off the other bits. That needs to come out a little bit more like that. Oh, way too pointy. Just bring that like that. What do I do on the other side? I just put one off the side, two at the top. Yeah, I did do them all. One off the side, two off the top. Drop that, drop that. Just tidy up. Half of this is remembering which lines were meant to be in there, which weren't. That one's gone the wrong way. Does it matter? I don't think it matters. I'm going to leave it. So the only thing with these teeth is I am going to need to kind of just balance them out with the rest of the face. So if I take that transparency down to about there, back on the teeth, what I can do is just tidy up the edges. Nice, right. Let's add some colour to the teeth. To the teeth layer, anyway. See you later, Farlands. Thanks for stopping by, mate. Appreciate that. So what's everyone up to today? It's Friday. Everyone's still working? Just starting? Just finishing? Let's bring some colours back in. Obviously with the teeth we're going to go yellow. Let's go for dark yellow in there first. What happened there? Wrong layer. In there. Again, this is probably not everybody's favourite way of colouring in, but I like it. I like to have my colours on a separate layer. tucked underneath the lines. Let's have a quick look, see how these look before I carry on colouring him. I think the reason I like colouring in this way is because in the past I've had issues where some of the colours don't like butt up to each other very neatly, and this way I think they just do. Yeah, I think the teeth are looking okay. I could probably put even a little bit of a darker shadow. What do you think? Just drop a little bit of the darkness in there. Yeah, I like that. Okay. Let's go and do the rest of the teeth now. Because the rest of the teeth are over on the dark side of the character, we're going to make these darker areas a little bit bigger. In fact, that tooth is just going to be completely black. Not black, but dark, because it's tucked away under there. We'll also drop some... We'll drop some drop shadows. We'll put some drop shadows in here as well. So how's that? Will be going around about there. So yeah, like I say, we're not going to use too much of that real light colour as we get over to the back side of these teeth, the far side of the teeth. We'll use a little bit though. Okay, so I'm just going to throw in some little shadows now. Look, just little lines like that. This one can have a little line there, just so it looks like these teeth are casting a bit of a shadow. Lovely. Gums. No, let's carry on with the teeth down here. The colours are in my most recently used as well, so whichever's quickest way of getting hold of those colours, you can go and grab them. Teeth right at the back, they're all going to be this dark yellow. Coming to the front there, we're going to be paler, so we're not going to see that dark yellow until we get over here somewhere. Getting up into these teeth, we're going to see lots of dark yellow because we're going back inside the mouth again. Feel like I've missed out a line there. Yeah, I have. So let's just quickly fix that line. Better. Yeah, that'll do. Not quite in the right place, but that'll do. Oops. Okay, let's keep it going. I'm going to outline this so I can drop in the colour. Might just speed up the process a little bit more. Yeah, that kind of sped up the process a bit, didn't it? Like I say, I'm sure there's an easier way of doing this, but I kind of like this method. I feel a bit more involved in what I'm drawing. Kind of getting to know it as I'm going around it all. Let's get into these bits. Right, highlights. Let's go and whack on some highlights for these teeth. I'm going to start on the middle teeth actually and decide from there. let's go. See what that looks like. Yeah, that's all right. Love that shape. That shape looks nice. Let's do a little bit more of that. Getting further into the mouth now, so just little tiny highlights in there. Let's work our way around the other side. Beautiful. Let's throw in a few little drop shadows. A little bit strong, I think, just there. Let's weaken that out a little bit. A bit too much. Same with that one. Okay, gums. Can use the same colours as we was using up there. Go a bit darker over that side. Yeah, let's shape that a little bit more. Little slithers of shade in here. I'm not putting too much in. And that's going to take out. Let's tidy that up. Drop those, put those drop shadows back in later. Yeah, looks right. Okay, quick outline, throw in the colour, and then we can figure out where we're going to put some more shadows in. Yep. Okay, more shadows. They're going to live here. Look at how these shadows kind of tie in with the ones on the teeth. That's kind of important. Yeah, looks better. That black line, let's bring that black line a little bit. Where is it? Oops. Yeah, so just repositioning that black line. So I've got the outline of the mouth in there. Well, looking at that, it looks like the dog's got braces. I might have to drop in some braces as well. Gonna stop adding extra things on. Must stop. Yeah, a little bit more of a shadow here. Look. Okay, I'm just going to take a 2-minute break. I'll be right back, okay? We're back. Kevlev, hello mate. Hope you're well. Just a reminder then for anybody that's just tuned in. This is I'm drawing a Korp dog for room 707. It's a Korp dog that's exposing all its inners. And also got this big old concerned look on its face. So far today we've decided to go for the David Bowie eyes. And a set of false teeth. So yeah, let's carry on. What am I up to? I'm colouring in the gums. Oops. Just want to turn that down a little bit. So I can see what I'm colouring in. Where did that go? Oh man. Why am I asking Siri something? One potential obstacle we might come up against is when I started my live stream, my iPad was at 10% charge. And I know I've plugged it in, and I think up in the corner it does say 100% charged, but it said that after like a few seconds, so I'm not entirely confident that that is an accurate level of charge there. I think we'll be all right. So let's put some shadows in. Again, where we're going to see those shadows, I don't think we're going to see much around here. Let's go and put in let's use the pen. Let's just put a shadow around there, just because that bit's at the back of the mouth. Then let's get over this side, because this is where we're going to see some more shadows coming in. And we'll bring the, I think we'll do it just here. Look, we'll bring that around and start colouring these bits in. So I think this is all going to be quite dark over there. That works. Oops. A few little highlights, I think. No, they look terrible. That's better. Right, let's bring these black lines back to the front. This colour belongs up there, so I'm going to use that colour. Let's just do the plain gums now. Yep. Yeah. Darker colour first. Let's go with wrong pen. Lovely light colour. Nope. Nope. That's my usual method. It's like, does it look kind of right? If it don't, then do it again. That's too fat. Yeah, I think that kind of works. Maybe sticks out a little bit too far. What do we think without the reflections? Let's put them back in. How are we doing? We've got 65 people watching now. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you're all doing well. If you are watching, let me know where you're from, what you're up to. See who's furthest away. Got any ideas for what I can do in this dog? Then by all means throw some ideas my way. I can always ignore them. New Jersey, GM Kev. Thank you very much for joining, mate. I hope you're doing well. I think that looks better. Okay, let's just, so if we select, use the magic wand, no, deselect, go onto the black layer, select the black layer. Then if we go into the color layer just there, we can erase everything. And then in theory, if we bring that above, oh, we're still getting lines through there. Oh, yeah, that's one. Idiot. Let's try that again. How am I going to do that? Okay. We've selected the black layer. Let's make that disappear. Get into the color layer here. Use the eraser tool. massive. Let's make it a little bit smaller. Now this should, in theory, I think, help me put the teeth back onto the top layer. So let's cross there. I think this is what will make it work. Otherwise these pink bits are going to overlap. I suppose I could just put the outer mouth. I mean, that's probably what I should do. Put the mouth line on the actual layer for the mouth. Deselect. Right, let's try that again then. So if we bring that back, make that disappear so we can see the reveal. There you go, we've got teeth and no teeth. I do like that. I do prefer it with the teeth. I think the teeth look better. But it's nice to have that little secret option. Hey Volts, thanks for joining, mate. Hope you're doing well. Just doing a little bit of drawing on Adobe Fresco, finishing off my my drawing for Room 707. 69 people watching now. Hi, 69 people. Hope you're doing well. Where should we go next? A bit of me thinks we should probably do the inside of the mouth. What kind of a tongue do we want to do? Let's do a few different sorts. So in there, let's go and put a nice easy tongue. So where's this tongue going to come from? I have it from there, which is big tooth, 1, 2 behind. Big tooth, 1, 2 behind. Let's go from about there. That's awful looking tongue, isn't it? Let's try that again. That I think is better. So yeah, I think I'm just going to put in a real basic, easy tongue for the time being. If I get time later on, I might stick a tongue out as well. But yeah, let's just keep it nice and simple. Whoops, undo that, undo that. What did I do there? Insert, put the black line over there. This is the color layer. Let's go with that dark pink again. Do we want to use, let's go red for the tongue, shall we? Yeah, let's do a few different layers of red. Not used red yet. Let's make that, let's just make that disappear. Something not tight about that. There's the gap. Wrong layer. Let's try that again. That's better. Okay, so we've got red, so let's go then for the next red down. Let's make that round brush a little bit fatter so it's easier to work with. And where are we going with this? To make that come around here a little bit more. Next red down, let's go and put some not liking that. Let's change this. So this is a 12.5 is my standard size, but if we make that really fat, I'm just remembering that 12.5 because that's like my outlining number, so I don't want to forget that. Hey Mika, cheers mate, glad you're enjoying it. Oh, that's not gone bigger. Let's close off. Let's taper the ends a little bit more. So they're 19%. Let's bring those up. Did that change? Yeah. I think that's a bit better. Okay, let's put the tongue behind the lips there. That's good. Let's erase all that gump that we've got in the background. That went wrong. That's better. Nice. So that's what our dog looks like with no teeth and a fat tongue. Just drop the teeth in with the fat tongue. Looking even better. What next? Let's do the back of the throat. So I want to be able to see the tongue, so I know I'm not going to do anything particularly detailed behind the tongue, but I want to see it so I know where to detail. Like these gaps over the side here, that's where I need to detail them. So I'll put that in. This bit, what's this bit? This is the outline. The teeth, yeah, let's fade the teeth down as well because I might put a little tonsil shape in there. And then this bit, not quite so much because that's got that important shaping. So right at the back here, we're going to put in a couple of layers. It's going to be for the back of the throat. Let's go into that layer so I can select an area. And then I can go in here, just colour that area with some big colours. What did I use? I used that. Let's use a bit of purple, see what purple looks like in the back. So we've got 2 tones of purple. let's just put that back to 12.5 again before I forget. And then this one, nice and fat. No, the way around, isn't it? Let's do, oh no, let's do that, and then back in. Yeah, that's better. It's too fat now. Cool, and then a real black bit right at the back where we'll do a, not just there, in fact let's just, that's the throat. Just going to whack in this tonsil. That might work. Let's just see what that looks like. So if we deselect, don't want to deselect. I'm not going to deselect yet. I'm just going to turn up all the colours. Okay, so a little bit of work needed on the side. I don't know if I like that. Just underneath the teeth, I think those gums need to be a bit more pink. Maybe I should just stick with reds in there. Go from reds and pinks. Let's see what that looks like. At least this time we can get back to this colour and just drop in. What we think will work. Yeah, I'll take that. Right, let's tidy up all that then. So we're in there already. Let's pick out some of these lines. We're just going to tidy up these lines now. Let's make that a little bit thinner so we can have a little bit more finesse over it. If that bit's alright, let's turn those bits pale. Nice. Let's bring that out a little bit more. That's good, that's good. Let's bring that one down to there. Because that gum's facing the opposite way, I think that's what it will look like. Yeah. Julish, hello mate, how are you? I'm using Adobe Fresco. Main reason I use Adobe Fresco is the vector clipping tool, which I've got a YouTube video on that, so go and have a look at the YouTube videos on why I use Adobe Fresco. I would explain it now, but Joff needs me to carry on drawing, so I'm just going to carry on drawing. But yeah, it's a really nice tool to use. what do we think to some little shapes like that? Let's make it a little bit thinner. How's this? Is this looking any good? Just putting a few extra little wrinkles in here. I mean, I think it is. Let's take those ones out there because I'm going to put some black ones in there. I think it's okay to just keep on playing around with things until you get it just right. That looks really cool. I kind of like how that's turned out. Let's just tidy up this bit down here. Let's get rid of that so we can have a proper close-up look. Yeah, I like the way the mouse look in there. No problem, Julish. I think there's a small charge for using this, but in my opinion, it's well worth it. I know it's probably, I think Procreate is free, but I enjoy using this app. What about making that a little bit darker? Let's just put a bit of black in there. And first of all, that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Maybe I'm going to do a black dog. But yeah, that's not what I intended. I'm going to put that up there, filter it to there. Look at it. What do you think to just a black background? It makes the teeth pop out, doesn't it? Or what we can do there is we can just fade out that a little bit. Decide how dark we want it. Part of me likes it really dark like that. Big part of me likes it really dark like that. Let's just leave it like that. We can always adjust it later. That's the beauty of doing like the building up layers in Fresco. If something's not looking quite right, it's nice and easy to adjust later. Thanks, Jessica. Yeah, mate, keep saying that you love it is absolutely fine. I'd like to think the algorithm picks up on the comments that people are making. And yeah, if you're loving it, then hopefully somebody else will be as well. Okay, I'm really liking the way the mouth is looking. I want to get into the eyeballs now because we've kind of neglected them. So where are we now? That is that bit. We need to go behind here for the eyeballs. So let's go and do this little eyeball layer. I'm going to What do we reckon for the eyeballs? Like a real pale yellow? Thanks, Jeff. What am I doing? Let's just fill it. Do we want yellow eyes or do we need... I think white eyes with a little grey bit might be better. Let me just try adding a little drop shadow down the bottom, which will be around about there and about there. I don't really need to tidy this bit up because it will go behind when we colour the skin in. But it's just going to help me make a decision on whether to go for like a grey colour. So when I was drawing the Korp dogs, I used just those colours for Korp dogs, but then also employed like loads of grayscales, just white through to black, just in case you didn't know what grayscale meant. Mika, installing the app right now as you speak. Yeah, go for it, mate. It's loads of fun. I promise in the community, in the Korp Academy community, there will be some like drawing tutorials. I've got a whole course. I've got a course on how to use Adobe Fresco, written, just not recorded. So it's on its way. Yeah, Jess, it is an American thing, isn't it? It's that old, do you really love it or do you just like it? You don't love everything. You love those people that are closest to you. You love your kids, your family, things like that, your favourite food. So, yeah, I get it. But no, this is cool. I think you're allowed to love art. I think it should be encouraged. Let's see if we've got any grayscales. We've got some grayscales on here already, so let's go and put that one in. See what this one looks like. That might be a bit dark. Okay, let's try it with white. Is that white? That's almost white. Not quite. Look. Let's try almost white and then that one there. Let's try something different. Let's put that on there. Let's put the power color on everywhere, but minimize it or overlay it anyway. We're going to try a different brush. Basic soft round. Let's make that soft round again, nice and big like that. Pick out a slightly darker color. Maybe even darker. Let's make that smaller still. Turn it over so I can use my the wrist to add this bit. Just trying to make those eyes like pop out a little bit more. Let's go a bit darker and a bit smaller. So Next darkness, a little bit smaller. I'm going to leave them like that. I think I quite like that. We've got a little bit more of a shape. So I love doing like cell shading. So it's one colour or another. There's not really much in the way of like a fade in between the two. But what the reason I like doing that is because when you do put a fade in, it kind of really pops out a little bit more. So like the eyes in there, I think for me they look a lot nicer. Let's get rid of this grid so you can see, so we can see, so I can see. Yeah, I think that looks quite nice. Definitely look a lot rounder. Okay, let's move down. We've got ears and ribs to do. The rib cage is going to be a nightmare, so I really want to get on with that. I've only got an hour left on this. Rib cage. So what am I going to do with the rib cage? Let's put in some. Let's drop in some new layers. I like to drop in. Did you see what I just did there? I dropped in like 2 layers. Put them on top of each other, so that when I go into them, I've got a layer for the outline and a layer underneath that's for the colour. And if I want to change anything, I want to turn the colour off, I can do. It gives you a little bit more flexibility, I think, to change things around. Right, let's have a little stab at this. So we're going to have to do we're going to have the back of the ribs, the front of the ribs, and then the skin of the dog. So let's go back of the ribs, front of the ribs, skin of the dog. So the black vector brush, let's pick out the right one. So it was that one, and it was 12.5. For some reason it's changed back again. There was no reason why I chose 12.5. It just was 12.5 when I was playing around with the eyes and getting the lines in the eyes. So back of the ribs first. So let's do bits like that. Yeah. If I do them from about there. Should have done that a bit longer. Oh man, that's so confusing. Right, let's disappear that and let's get into the front of the ribs. I think if I get the front of the ribs done, it might make a bit more sense. I can get the front of the ribs done, colour them in, and then the back of the ribs will be a little bit easier to do. And the only reason I'm doing them on different layers, so just in case I want to put something on the inside. Do I want to? No, I'm not going to. Should I? Yeah, I'm going to mirror this one. I know I said earlier that I don't want to mirror because I like the randomness, but I'm going to turn symmetry on just there, and let's do this. I forgot that I needed to turn this bit down as well. That was about 19 before, wasn't it? Let's start up here. I like that little flick I did coming down there, so I'm just going to add a few of those in because that kind of worked for me. Okay, that feels like the front of the ribs. Let's go and tidy them up. You'll notice the clipping tool doesn't clip both sides at the same time. So it's just something to be mindful of. Yeah, get rid of these. That feels better. Okay, let's see if I bring in the background now. The other layer, the back of the ribs. See if that oh no, I need to colour these in, don't I? So let's go to the layer underneath the ribs. I'm going to colour them in quite dark for the time being, but I will be able to tone that down later. Wow, that's a big fat brush, isn't it? Let's go with it. Oh, that line should have gone off. Just put that in. Because what we've got there is a little bit of fur hanging over. So that line should have gone like that, I think. Yeah. that bit definitely goes under the first one. I got to worry about that, but just because it bothers me, I'm going to take that back to about there. Oh, here we go again. Okay. Right, tidied that up. Let's go and put this colour back in again. That's off the bottom as well. That's good. Outline these bits, otherwise when I apply the fill, it will fill in all these holes, and I don't want that to happen. There's another thing as well, just double tapping with your fingers. You see on the small camera, double tapping with your fingers will undo stuff. Okay, let's drop some colour in. Nice, right, like I said, that colour is only there so that I know where the ribs are. So if I bring that bit back, see how they all kind of just sit behind, which is exactly what I want, because I don't want to bother. I'm not going to bother drawing all the bits of the rib and colouring all the bits of the rib that are hidden. I just noticed that I didn't symmetry that as well. What an idiot. Maybe I'll just clear that then. No, let's clear it and go again. So let's start down. That rib goes off. This one, wrong pen. Just trying to remember where all these bits link to. So this one is that bit. Is it me, or does that not look like it joins in? Is that all one line? Look at that. That does not look like it joins onto that. That's blowing my mind. But it does look. It is there. Okay. Have faith. Let's carry on. So this one comes out there. It's going to turn around. It's going to go back to that bit. Oh, I see, that bit's the back of the Back of the dog. Right, let's do some of these bones. We can tidy that up, and then we'll join the back of the rib cage in. That's behind the bottom of the dog. Let's put some more ribs in. That's clear, isn't it? We know what we're doing there. That all makes sense. Let's colour the back of the ribs in with a darker grey, and then we can see if it does make a little bit of sense. So second layer, round brush, darkest grey, not the darkest, let's go for that one. Let's go for that one. Can you believe that? Don't know why Siri keeps kicking in, that's really annoying. I should probably wear my glove. Might just be because the screen is getting a little bit hot. Yeah, let's do all of that bit. That'll be fine. Put this bit. No. It's just trying to remember which bit is a rib and which bit is a gap, which is proving a little bit more difficult for me to see than I anticipated it would be. There we go. That looks about right. So some of these gaps, let's colour those in as well. That's got to be dark grey. That's got to be dark grey. That's over a gap. That's over a gap. I think that one's going to have a black line going through it. So let's go and put that in. That one there. Yeah. So if we get into the colour, we can erase that bit. Okay, let's turn the transparency up on here so I can see what I'm doing. Grey. Bum, 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 bum. That scans, doesn't it? I think that scans. So next thing to do is the fun bit, which is adding the shading to give these ribs a bit more shape. So I'm just going to go a bit, lighter with the colours. Obviously, we need to turn off symmetry on this bit to make that work. There was a little bit of a mistake in here as well. I remember drawing the mistake and thinking, I'll get rid of that later. I think it was one of these lines. Yeah, there it is. Look. A little line coming in there. So I think that was just there. Let's, yeah, get rid of those. And yeah, I think this is going to be a case of let's just go down a layer. Maybe I should start at the front. Go with a pale grey. That's that one. So that's the next one down. Let's see what this looks like. Just use the round brush. What size is that? That's a good size. So we've got to just think about where the light is hitting this rib cage now. So I need to turn off symmetry. Okay, let's start down the bottom here. Think go right through the middle and then a little change right at the end there. Let's do something here. So right through the middle and up the edge. That will come and tuck in just there. Yeah, I think this is what I'm going to go with. If I colour it in, I can change the tones later. Right, let's carry on with that style. So we're going halfway up and then tuck in. Around the front, tuck in. This one, I think we could bring it from there, look. Let's bring it from there. See what that looks like. think that works. That's too big. Right, concentrate. Let's get this bit at the top done first. One step at a time. I'm jumping ahead of myself there, trying to figure out how to do that bit at the top when I haven't actually done this bit first. Let's be a bit more strategic with that. Yeah, that looks better. Let's put some of those around here as well. Beautiful. That's looking okay to me, that front bit. Let's go and do some highlights over on the other side. Same kind of principle. Same principle, just a little bit quicker. What am I going to see just there? Let's bring that to there. I don't think we'll see that. Let's bring that shadow just there. Yeah, just because this bit is all on the dark side, so we're not going to see too much of that shadow there. I don't know what that notification was for. So let's bring it in like that. Some less shadows. Sorry, more shadows, less highlights. Okay, that looks good. Let's go and put some in here as well. I think we're going to see some just there like that. Back in, disappear. Oh no, that's underneath, isn't it? Let's try that again. So we'll see some there. Tiny highlights there. Get rid of the holes. Okay, that looks better. Okay, let's triple tone this with a slightly darker shade. So we've done that one, did that one, that one. Let's go for this one next. And we'll just put a few little dark shadows in. Let's do that again, just a little bit tidier. So just throwing in some small little shadows, and then I just need to go over and tidy all the overlaps that I've done there. Oops. Let's tidy this up before I move on. starting to take on a little bit more shape there, which is good. Just going to put some of these shadows on the other side. Just remember I've gone a lot thinner with my pen. Which I think actually will help. And ideally what I want is this tone here that I'm doing to be the same as the tone that starts coming through there. And then it should tie the front and the back of the ribs together quite nicely. That's how it works in my head. A key's a great idea because you use a key, don't you? Part of the Room 707 branding is a key, I'm sure it is. Let's bring that all the way around. Feels like that works. Definitely going to have to put something in the rib cage. Now that we've gone to all this effort to do the front and the back of the rib cage separately. Might make those colours a little bit paler. We'll see when the fur goes on what it looks like. In fact, no, let's do it now. So we've got colour 1. It's the real pale colour. Which is not white, but is very pale. Colour 1. I think that's it. Let's go for colour 2, which is the main bit there. in there. That's looking better, isn't it, already? Being a bit lighter. Let's go for number 3, which is the darkest bit. So we're going to change that. Well, maybe I should just keep that. I quite like it. Being a change. Quite a sharp change in contrast. Yeah, I'm going to leave that in there. Okay, let's tidy up some of these bits. Start to see some of this change of colour so that I can get it darker, and when it whips around the back it'll be a dark colour. Need to put some dark bits in here as well, don't I? That's not dark. Let's go for that colour there. Cool, front of the ribs are done. Let's go and do the back. Hi, if you're watching, this is a live session, so I'm drawing with Adobe Fresco. There you go, that's what we're at so far. It's a piece called The Creator's Curse. It's about exposing yourself as a creator and the anxiety that brings with it. Luckily, it's not something I suffer with nowadays. I'm more than happy to kind of just get online and draw in front of people, make mistakes and stuff like that, try out new things without panicking too much that they might go wrong. Made plenty of mistakes on this, but you know, tidied them all up in the end, so it's all good. But yeah, this is for Jessica's project, Jessica Yastrovsky, and yeah, it was always just intended to be like a dog, symbolic of an artist that's exposing their innards, symbolic of their artwork, and yeah, just the way that makes you feel. And the main reason for that is because of Jessica's project, which is all about creating a private space for artists to be artists, which is great. Right. Yeah, been minted next week. This will be ready and minted next week. I kind of said it'll be ready today, but I can't see myself getting the rest of this in within the next 15 minutes. What should I do? Shall I? I think what I'll do is I'll quickly go and do the fur now, actually. Just because then we might be a bit more finished, and then I can do a bit more shading. The back of the ribs definitely needs more shading. The front I'm really happy with, although the front could do with a bit more, like, you know, like we did in the mouth, a bit of extra something. But yeah, let's just quickly go and do the rest of the body then. So where do we want to do that? Should we do that on this layer? Why can't we do it on that layer? Can that layer go? Can these ribs go underneath? Of course they can. What's that? Oh, it's the back of the mouth. Why is the back of the mouth so small? Ah, that's why. That's good. So ribs there. Look what happens if I put the front ribs underneath there. Look, what a mess that's made of that. Let's put the front ribs back to the front. That looks nice. Okay, so eyeballs right at the back. Then we've got the back of the ribs and the front of the ribs, then the back of the mouth, then the tongue, then the regular mouth, then the teeth that go over the top of that. So I think I can just jump into this bit now and just do some more outlining with that. So 12.5, black, black. Let's get rid of those colors because I'm not going to use those for a while. And do I want to double do symmetry? I don't think I will. Sorry guys, I missed all your comments on abstract. Been miles away. Been in the zone trying to get some drawing done, but Volts likes it. Says it looks amazing. Loves how this one is looking. Mika says looking really good. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate it. Right, let's go and do these ears. So do we? No, I'm not going to symmetry them. Which layer was I on? That one there. Ears done. Ears done. Let's go and do the mouth. Big bottom lip. Rubbish. Yeah, that's all right. Do need to just take a little bit of fur out. See how that looks. Let's do something similar on the other side. So it's going to come down there, out and in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, let's draw this big old curve across the front. Let's turn symmetry on for this one because I want it to be relatively similar on both sides. In fact, I'm going to turn the rib cages off so I can see that pencil line again. Look, back into that layer. Do I need symmetry? Yes, I do. Lovely. No, symmetry off. No, let's put that bit in first. Then we'll turn symmetry off. And then we can just add a little bit of fur. What I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to make it so that the fur doesn't interfere with the bones too much. That's terrible. There's a bit too much symmetry going on there. Let's bring a bit just there. Actually, I quite like that. I'm going to do softer ends, so let's take that one out. And this one is curling this way. Okay, let's tidy these up. Yep, that goes there. Move down the ears. outside bits are easy because you just got to get rid of all the outside bits. The inside bits are a bit more difficult because it's like, which bits do you get rid of? So let's have a look on this side. See how that looks. Yeah, I think we'll go with that. So that bit, yeah, that kind of works, doesn't it? Let's get down the bottom and do the same at the bottom. So again, symmetry on as I do this really tricky curve. Go from there. It's not a very nice join. Let's try it again. That feels better. Symmetry off. How did I do this bit then? So let's try that. That's terrible. I think that works. Nice. Looks right. Let's do the same kind of thing over here. Smooth that into there. Four minutes left to finish off. Will I get it done? I very much doubt it. We can just drop in. Let's just drop in some colour though in the main part of the dog. All this needs tidying up. Where is the colour? Let's put a new layer in for colour just in case I want to change the colour a little bit later. Yeah, that one. Let's make it a little bit thicker so I can see what I'm doing. And purples we were going for. Where's the colour chart? We'll go for just the normal purple, and then we'll yeah, put dark bits in later. Maybe I'll do half and half. We'll see what that looks like, half and half. There's my new layer. Right, let's go and put in an outline. And then I can drop in some colour. That's still a bit too fat. Oh man, go away. Now, is this behind? No, no. It's not behind the mouth. So I'm gonna have to outline the mouth as well. Otherwise, somehow the tongue is behind this layer, just because of the way I've drawn it. What about the nose? Where's the nose? Let's just see what it looks like. I can always undo it. Yeah, brilliant. It's not letting me undo. Oh, there it is. So I think what you'll get from this is roughly what the colours will add. But obviously I'm going to spend a bit more time just adding a bit more finesse. I'll do it offline. But I'll give you a bit of a view. And to be honest, I don't want to give away, I never wanted to give away the actual finished artwork look. I want to leave that so that it's a little bit more of a surprise for everybody. Okay, let's make that in there, that in there. Let's go for a darker colour just there. Make the brush massive. Massive. So yeah, my intention was maybe to go half and half like that. Or we could do a third like that. A third like that. Not sure. I'm going to play with it, see what comes out. I'm kind of liking that as a starting point. I think that works. Just a little bit of a shadow on the side there. But yeah, let's have a little look then what it looks like with the ribs in. So there's the back of the ribs, there's the front of the ribs. You can just see how it all just sits behind there. The other thing I will do is just put a couple of little overlays on. But yeah, I think we've made some really good progress. So pretty much all the outlining's done. Yeah, I need a little bit more finesse with the shading on the actual dog. There'll be an overlay, a brown paper overlay that will go over the top. That will just give it that like a more IRL kind of feel and finish to it. That'll also just tweak the colours slightly. So at the moment the colours look very kind of flat. This will give the colours a lot more texture. and then yeah, we'll throw something on the inside. But yeah, that's it. I'm going to wrap up now. So yeah, thanks very much for joining in. Wherever you're joining in from. What did we get to? Got to 88 followers, 88 people watching. That's awesome. Thank you very much. I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you learned something. I'm sure I'm going to again. Not this weekend. On Monday, there's another live stream on Monday. But yeah, keep your eyes peeled. I'll put some other stuff up over the weekend as well. Cheers, everyone. Take care. I'll see you soon. Bye bye.